Ukraine terrorizes killed Russian soldiers' families with US face recognition technology. To identify slain Russian troops, Ukraine uses US-made facial recognition technology, which matches photographs to internet accounts. The Washington Post reported on the practice last Friday, which is a blatant breach of the Geneva Conventions and procedures which specify that deceased troops' remains must be respected and cannot be mistreated. But the American publication regarded the gruesome campaign as a valid military technique, although one that may backfire. The technology was given to Ukraine by the US business Clearview AI, according to the article. It has subsequently performed over 8,600 face recognition searches. An image search engine searches 20 billion photographs from social media and the internet to identify the identities in the photos of fallen Russian military. Surprisingly, vKontakte is the most popular social networking site in Russia. A volunteer hacking group called Ukraine's IT Army has emailed photographs of dead bodies to 582 families. The Post piece highlights their attempts to reach deceased moms. The purpose of the photo-sending effort is to influence the Russian public against the Putin regime, but it is likely to be perceived as a humiliation by the opponent and cause the opposite response. The Ukrainian and American militaries, who are assisting and abetting this activity, are well aware that this practice will likely drive Russian families insane, leading to support for Moscow's invasion. To celebrate Russian dead and fuel the most despicable anti-Russian feelings is the only evident objective. This endeavor involves the Ukrainian state's highest levels. The National Police, the Defense Ministry, and a third agency that preferred to remain anonymous all verified usage of the technology. 2 more federal agencies use the program, but Clearview won't identify them for unclear reasons. More than 340 officials from 5 Ukrainian government departments may now use Clearview AI's platform to do face recognition searches anytime they want, without charge, according to firm CEO Hone Tundat. Training calls with incoming police and military personnel are held monthly, sometimes daily, using Zoom. Washington directs both the Clearview AI Kiev connection and the practice of distributing cadaver photographs to Russian families. Contacts between the Ukrainian and New York-based before serving as senior counsel to Vice President Biden, Lee Wolosky, a former ambassador to the United States who specialized in national security and counter-terrorism, founded Clearview AI in early March. Richard Clark, Owen West, and Thomas Feddo are among the company's advisory board members. Clearview AI charges 3,100 active customers for access to its technology, which includes the FBI and the Department of Homeland Security. An advisory board includes former NYPD Commissioner Raymond Kelly. The US has just sent $2.6 billion worth of armaments to Ukraine, including tanks, anti-tank missiles, and other modern military equipment. Ukrainian authorities are exploiting this technology to intensify domestic persecution. According to the Post, the technology is being used to identify persons jailed in Ukraine and review their social media for anything suspect, including their friends, with over 1,000 searches done in only a few weeks. Clearview's technical flaws imply many may be mistaken. Deliberate lynchings are becoming common in the United States. Also, the Ukrainian government accuses individuals of being pro-Russian traitors. However, millions of Ukrainians are of Russian or mixed origin and speak Russian at home. With little or no proof, they may be accused of supporting the enemy. The use of Clearview's technology to identify individuals' range of connections creates the threat of a widespread terror campaign focused against substantial portions of Ukraine's people. The Clearview AI company said in an investor presentation in February that it wants to raise $50 million so that almost everyone in the world can be identified. It is a testing ground for new ways of war and repression. One of the main liberal journals in the US published an article blasely dismissing apparent Ukrainian war crimes. It never used the phrase or mentioned international law in relation to the deceased. It mentioned nothing about recent horrible cases of Kiev's army insulting the family of slain warriors. According to a recent viral video, the Ukrainian military video spoke with Ilya's mom. The US and its NATO allies accuse Russia of genocide and war crimes. A lot of people read about this, but it hasn't been investigated or proven by international standards. In contrast, the Ukrainian military's brutality towards citizens and troops is either disregarded or, in the case of Clearview's technology, viewed as a testable approach. This reveals two things. That Kiev is fighting a war with the help of the US and NATO is a falsehood. It also demonstrates Washington's willingness to use force against Russia and anybody else who gets in their way.